These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mountain Goat article quote Parliamentary Finance expects the date for approving the 2023 budget. Mountain Goat says, I have to tell you, don't expect the budget until 2023. Yes, I certainly hope they will send it to Parliament this month of November and quickly read it and pass it, but come on, folks, this is Iraq. Pimpy says, I know people are talking about there being a rate change inside the budget. I've mentioned that article as well, only to hear the Central Bank of Iraq come out the next day saying that it wasn't true. Remember, the people that are supposed to make the announcement are the central bank, not the government of Iraq. Frank 26 says, once we have a seated government, then you'll have a budget that you can open like a piñata, and then you'll see the things are in there. Frank says, as far as the rate, we need the government announced and seated, and then you'll see the budget. Sandy Ingram says the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq is participating in the autumn conference of the Iraqi British Business Council, which opened Thursday in Dubai. The government made several statements. However, this one statement is akin to what we hope to hear and see in Iraq. Quote, money is the lifeblood and means of development and prosperity, and we calculate that our banking sector is qualified to play the roles that everyone aspires to, unquote. Sandy Ingram says we rarely hear from the Central Bank of Iraq, but since the Saudi Wealth Fund is investing in Iraq, we are learning more about the CBI in the news. Militiaman article quote, the governor of Central Bank of Iraq inaugurates a branch of the International Development Bank in Dubai, unquote. Militiaman says the CBI opening a bank internationally with confidence is obviously a milestone for the bank. An international move that is likely a sign of things to come. Timing is perfect. Jeff article quote, Al Sudani resolves the position of the rechange of the dollar exchange rate and calls the term corruption pandemic. The central bank and the government are autonomous. The government has no decision-making period in adjusting the exchange rate. It's in the hands of the central bank, and it's proven to you right here. Quote, the Central Bank of Iraq as the only concerned party in changing or restoring the dollar exchange rate, unquote. Walking Stick via Frank 26, we are looking at it as more of a one-to-one where they will eventually float. I love the fact that all they talk about every day in the streets is about the new exchange rate. That tells me the CBI has been very successful in the education of the monetary reform. Pimpy says you'll have to pay attention to who's giving you the news. Article, will Iraq's new government reconsider a dinar exchange rate, unquote. Pimpy says you can see right here, quote, a number of leaders of the coordination framework, unquote. Pimpy says who has been benefiting from putting out there all kinds of rumors causing speculators to run and grab up all the dinar and then make money off this. Unless it comes from the Central Bank of Iraq, I wouldn't trust the news too much, especially since we're talking about the coordinating framework. And lastly, Frank 26 article, quote, Central Bank Governor, we're keen to facilitate the procedures for opening the first branch of a private bank abroad, unquote. Frank says CBI government tells the Iraqi citizens about the satellite banks internationally.